getting on before we got here.
Gary, have you ever done 2 games in 2 days before in your playing or managerial career?
I don't know, I might have done. I think in my day, sometimes when there was a fixture backlog, I'm sure I've had that at some stage. But then we were men then, weren't we? And we could play 7 days. Listen, if you love playing football, you can play every day and you train every day. Of course, we're not planning on playing the same team, that's obvious, in over 2 days. But of course, you've got from the Tuesday, you're going to have your 5 subs who are all going to be on the bench on the Tuesday. So it's just like a reserve game on the Wednesday, really, like everybody has. It's just that we're not in a reserve team. It's very hard for us to keep our fringe players and young players fit, match fit, because we've got no reserve games. And so we'll class this not as a reserve game because it's a very important game, but it's the lads that won't play that play on Tuesday, of course, won't play on Wednesday. So it works out all right for us, and it works out okay because some of the boys put themselves forward, in a better position than they might have been before the game. So it's been good for them, and it's been good for our club.
How important was it, because you were trying to do it straight after the end of the game, to keep that Kidderminster game and keep the league ticking over? Yeah,
you need to keep the league ticking over. You can see, we're still going to get this sort of weather, and if we get the snow that they got in Scotland, then there's going to be games called off and all sorts of shenanigans later on at the end of the season. And we can't just think, oh, we'll wait and see. You've got to try and plan for all the eventualities, and we are. We're brainstorming as much as we can and having a look at it so we don't get caught out later on. And that's what we're doing. We're managing the season like you have to do.
You talk about getting points in credit. It's almost important to get games in credit, isn't it? Just to almost keep ahead of the rest.
Yeah,
so
you want both,
yeah.
if you can, but it doesn't always work out like that, because somebody's lucky enough that the weather doesn't reach them, and then they play and you don't, and then you've got another team that might be in the trophy that you can't play, so then you've got to work out what you're going to do about that. So we've had a look at everything, and trust us, we're on top of it as best we can be.
Given the circumstances of the last week, it seems a long time since that Boreham Wood game, doesn't it, for a lot of the players? How fresh in their memory and your memory is your disappointment from that?
Yeah, I think I think it's still fresh. I think it's still fresh with the boys, listening to the interviews that they've done with yourselves. They were as genuinely disappointed as I was. And on the day we did create a lot of opportunities. Now we've got another game on Tuesday against Kidderminster where it's like a wounded animal, as they say, which is very dangerous, and they haven't played for a long time. I felt we couldn't afford another few days before Sunday, even another extra day, to not have a game. So it was important for us. I'm sure Kidderminster would feel it's important as well. So it should be, they've got nothing to lose. Nobody's expecting them to win, not the bookies or anyone like that. So we're going to have to be careful of that, because there's always coupon. What do they call
Busters.
Busters, that's it. Yeah, it just shows you I don't care.
You're not allowed to, are you? No. How important is a performance as well as a result? Because I think that was the thing that a few said after the Boreham Wood game, that the performances haven't been there for a little while, even though the results were coming.
Well, we've always said that a performance is really important to us, and I'll be honest with you, I think over the last 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 games, we've won games and we've had a great winning run, and I think 10 wins and 4 draws or something, which is a fact that you'd have ripped somebody's arm off if they said they'd have given you that 14, 15 games ago. But I don't feel that we've played our flowing football just yet. Very difficult in the conditions, of course, when you go to some of these places, and even our place now is going to be the best described as a wintry pitch. and are well played on pitch, of course. But and that's going to be the case anyway now. I think we lost out there early season on the pitch. You know, I think the new fellas, Matt Uttridge is doing a great job under difficult circumstances. But when we needed to renovate the pitch at the start of the season, we didn't do it well enough. And I was saying that at the time. And so we're reaping, what's the opposite of rewards? We're reaping that's what's happened. So that's why, of course, days. It's because we need to play those 2 games in those 2 days for our management of our season. But the pitch itself is because it wasn't strong enough. The seeds, there wasn't enough seed. We didn't take the top layer off, which we should have done. I am a bit of an expert because I've been at a lot of clubs where the pitch is very, very important. And I don't think it's anybody in particular's fault. I'm not blaming anyone. But I just blame the sort of situation and how it developed, and people made some wrong decisions early in the season when we were laying a new pitch. We didn't lay a new pitch. We just topped up the old one, which was also useless.
Obviously, you can't change that now. Do you
answer the first question?
do you have to change your style then, maybe, to change the way you set up and go about it?
Well, of course you do, because if you want to play little short passes around, then it's not going to happen because the ball's not going to get there. So there's a lot of game management within a game, let alone over a season, and you do have to be aware of the state of your pitch, or the condition of your pitch is probably a kinder word.
Dan Holman is eligible to play Tuesday. Is he fit to play?
Training today, which is good, and there's been no reaction over the weekend to a lot of work that he did on Friday and Saturday. So I won't know until I've seen him train this morning. But I think it'd be buzzing to be involved, and the physios are all saying that, in their opinion, he's ready.
Yeah, it must be tempting to throw a new striker in, particularly with somebody with his goal-scoring record when you've just drawn a 0-0 in the last week.
Well, of course it's tempting, and I might do that. I haven't decided yet, so I'm not even sort of telling you lies. We haven't decided. We've got a meeting in a minute. But our strikers have done all right as well over the season. You know, Billy's had a good run of form in this good run of form. Righty obviously is the same, so you have to decide whether all 3 go on the pitch or whether you have to rest one of them. So they're all decisions, but that makes for good competition, and I can see that as soon as he starts training today, the level of the strikers will suddenly go up 1 notch.
Because of that competition,
because of the competition,
they know that they might lose their place.
Yeah.
Obviously, an area where you haven't got that competition, centre half, leading nice again. Keane came in and you took him off after 45 minutes, probably with Tuesday in mind.
Yeah.
He's ready to go for a league game in your mind?
I think so. That's why we brought him in. He looked the part, I thought. Just be it for the half. I think it's getting these lads the judgment as a manager, and getting these lads when they're ready, because you can get loans where you have a little panic up and take a great kid from one of these clubs and they're not ready. So it's that judgment on somebody's first loan, whether they're ready or not. And you've met him, you've spoke to him, he's a 22-year-old, 18-year-old really, and they think very highly of him at Coventry, and they, as well as us, feel that he's ready now to be that man. He's a man in all intents and purposes. He's big. He's a strong lad with a super left foot. So he's got every chance of being selected.
You said after the Oxford game there was 1 or 2 things that were going on in terms of looking for extras around there. Anything more to report 2 days later?
What do you mean?
in terms of looking to bring in another centre half to
Oh,
cover
I see.
Davis?
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, well, we're still looking, and you can't just go out and jump at the first one that might become available. You've got to get it right, because that is such a important decision and position for the rest of the season. As far as you've lost your captain, so you've got to find that somewhere. It might come from within the group. You've got to find your centre back that does what he does in both penalty areas. That might come from within the group. Everyone's just got to raise it until somebody comes in, if and when. Anyway, if you was 20 points clear and had 25 players in your squad that you liked them all, you're still looking. You always are, just in case a rainy day comes, and you've got to be aware of what's out there. And we're aware of what's out there, but we're just waiting for an opportunity to pop up.
Does the situation with James Dayton affect your thinking? Because I think he's out of contract. Is he after the Kidderminster game? Do you have to extend that for it to play a part Wednesday, or is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. It's a good point. I'll find that out today.
Okay.
But I've had a little chat with James, and we know what we got in our minds. So I'll pass that on once we've had another chat after tomorrow's game.
Excellent. That's fine. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.